Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to rig face. These characters are property of Turbo Rocket Games. So I'm not going to share this project with you, I believe. Just follow to see how it's done. I think there will no need to share the project. Okay, I have already cut everything. And let's do it actually. Let's export it and start rigging. To export, I'm going to use Spine to Photoshop script. And to open that, I will use my hotkeys. But before exporting, I want to set up origin point, like root point. So I will enable rulers and drag from this corner to here. And after that, I can just export. This will export all images trimmed into the same folder that Photoshop exists and generate a JSON file, which we can find here, and we can drag and drop it into the Spine already created project. It's empty and it already saved into the same directory. So we can create new project and again save it into same directory or just import into existing this one. It doesn't matter if we ignore or replace. Anyway, there is nothing to conflict with. So we hit import. Images are not loading because we have not specified path correctly. Now we have it imported properly. Let's see where we start. We can quickly notice that the body is merged. It's not okay. In a normal animation project you would also have the arms and maybe fingers separated. But this time I'm going to concentrate only on head and maybe this back hair, so the full head rig. That's why I merged everything, just to not confuse ourselves. And let me grab the images so you can see what we work with. Here are they. You can see we have like windows in the face. We have shadows. Here are they, face shadow. I'm going to mesh it as well. And we have two pieces for hairs and back hair. Everything is simple. We have this separated because it has to go to the back, while this is like it's because of the sandwiching. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to hide it not properly. So it doesn't matter in this case. We have eyeballs, we have closed eyelids, we have opened one. The opened one looked nicely, so I wanted to create those, import also those. Otherwise, if I stretch them, deform them to match this one, the eyelashes would not look good. So I would keep them, and when I open them, I would transition into open states. So ideally, when character is not blinking, we would see this state listed. But when character is blinking, we would transition to those eyelids and make the blinking or closing, just smiling, whatever, just this state would be used when we close the eyes. And in open state, we will have this beautiful face. Okay, let's get everything meshed. I'm not going to explain every step when I mesh, but I will fast forward them. I assume you are already experienced in meshing, but if you are not, just play the video in slow mode so you can see how I actually mesh them. I will just fast forward it. Okay, I think I have meshed everything that I need. Now I will go and rig the eyes. I have a tutorial about that. You can see that video. I will link it in the description or maybe on the screen. But let me do it. I will also fast forward it. Well, I think I have rigged eyes. We have pupils. We can control them. They will rotate in their corresponding eyeball elliptical way. For that, I just created another bone, root bone, for all the rig for each eye, which has scale of half value, like 0.5. This one and this one similarly. So that makes us the children bone to rotate in like skewed in elliptical way. So you can see the difference between this bone and this position change while we rotate. So basically also this bone, it has a rotation. which corresponds to this oval rotation. And I have separated eyebrows to achieve nicer rotation, so we can rotate it even further to open this section. I would not do this for normal ordinary, but in this case we are going to rotate the head a lot, so I want to have flexibility there. Now let's rig the hairs and then move to the main rig. For hairs I will select the head bone and create two bones. Let's make them already bent so they don't snap. And similarly for these hairs. Now let's select the bones and create eye key. So we create targets. This target will go directly into the root. If we have body rigged, I would place it in shoulders or neck bone or chest bone. And we have this one. Now let's bind the hairs to head bone, the top part, and to eye key, these sections. Similarly, I will bind this to head bone, this section, or this and this. Now let's see. Let's smoothen it a little bit. Let's check it how it's gonna work. Yes, I think it will work. I'm going to smoothen it, and also I will go and let's smoothen it and see. Yes, I like. So basically this is the setup. Let me also go and fix the shadows and back hair. Cool, I have it rigged. Let's see. You can see it snaps, but let's not concentrate on that now. We can fix it by lowering this part or just making it softer in the eye key settings. So let's not concentrate on that right now. I see issues here, but I will fix them while I rig the head. Let's start the rig process by creating a circular movement of the bones in elliptical way. So for that I will select the root character bone, create a new bone and create another bone vertical. So this is gonna be our rotator, and this one will work as scale. So with this we will just adjust the 3D. Let me grab some images, align them and maybe rotate them. And next I just need to add bones along the circle. Okay, now that we have it, imagine that those bones are going to help you to bind the meshes, bones and everything. So they will be your guides in 3D. And if we scale and rotate, it's not gonna work right now, but if you follow me, you will see that it will. So for now you can see that if we scale it and rotate it, the bones are rotating as well, and they also being scaled. So we don't need that. We need all those new bones with disabled rotation and scale inheritance. So this way we will achieve bones that why are they rotating? I think I left the scale value. Yeah, I did. So let's scale it again. Now they are very static. So right now we can name them. So right now let's align it with our face. So I will grab this bring it to this center of the head. Let's bring it here and let's scale it to match the perspective. I think I'm scaling wrong thing. Let's assume it's this way. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe, yeah, we can see from the head, maybe a little bit, yeah. So I will put it here, and now I will find the nose. For that, I will select rotator. Let's name it. And let's select rotator and actually rotate until we have nose here. So we have it here, and now we just need to bind everything. And when we want to turn the face, we will use this rotator, or we can just use the scale value. This is basically it. Let me start binding it. I will fast forward this section. I'm going to bind meshes as well as the bones with the constraints. So it's not only meshes. You can see that I would bind this bone entirely. I would also go and bind the edges of the eyelid. So when the face rotates, it actually appears in 3D and not just one bone just moves there. So let me fast forward this section. Actually, there is no right way to do this binding. You can see that I also will struggle doing this. So I think nothing I can teach you here. You just see how I do, maybe the order of doing it. I would start from the rigging, the binding the face and hiding all the other parts. Once I'm happy with them, I would bring the eyes and hairs. When I bind the eyes, I would first go and bind the bones of the eyes, the root bone of each eye, so they move with the face, at least like close to the face. And at the end, when I'm happy with the skin of the face and most of other parts like nose and mouth, I would go and polish the eyelids and bind also the skin of the eyelids and maybe pupils and eyeballs, so they also have that 3D turn and not only just moving in 3D but also the rotating the skin of the eyes. And while you watch, I want to remind you an important note that this is not just suggested way to rig the face. I myself just rigged this face twice and this is the second one actually. So in production, I would definitely go with basic rig or even the simple one. So just experiment, just try this new way. I hope you will learn some new stuff. To experiment or even try in production, remember that this rig opens a lot of possibility, a lot of tools to make very nice looking results, but it doesn't mean that you will have nice results at the end, because you may struggle for hours and at the end you have like very distorted face in the project. What I want to say is that if you go with this setup, make sure you have at least have basic drawing or sculpting skills. Otherwise, you will get lost in the 3D, like where to put the space, how it moves. I mean, that was my case. I was struggling a lot to figure out where the cheek goes, where the chin goes. So at the end, I end up spending much more time than with a basic rig. So just explore, just see how spine works, how the tools works, and maybe you will use this exact same setup, but not on face. Maybe some other object that is much easier to achieve. Yeah, so this is what we have at the end after like 3 hours of polishing. We have this face. You can see that it has a lot of issues, but I really don't want to go in more details. What I wanted to say about the limitation of the head bone. So basically, you can't rotate the head as you would do in normal rig. It just does like a weird movement. So this is due to the inheritance of the rotation of this rotation and scale bones. So this is the side effect. I think this has a very good reason to not go with the rig. But again, just use this, just experiment. Maybe you want to go with a totally different object. Maybe it's cylinder or like snowman. You want to turn it in 3D. Whatever you want to do, just play with it. So I will leave you here, just you can see. Thank you for watching, and I will create another poll to see what video you want to see next. And thanks for subscribing, guys.